What a clean sequence. Now, I didn't hit this. This clip was submitted to me. Shout out to HeeNeeSumMilk. That's his gamer tag. I linked his Twitter in the description. He hit this high-level sequence, and he did this on Halo 5 PC Forge. It's a free download on the Microsoft Store. He's using a mod here that increases his FOV to 120. Halo 5 was not built for 120 FOV, so this does look a little odd, but the beauty of 120 is you can see more, and you get that added sensation of speed. Now, that being said, he's hitting some crazy stuff here that I'm going to break down. But first, let me show you one more. This one's on Plaza. Once again, beautiful stuff from Heenee. If you want to see more, you can check his Twitter. Honestly, when I watch this stuff, I can't help but think of that damn advanced mobility is a lie in 90 seconds video. Like, why are we still sharing that video in 2021? It's clearly fake news, right? Like, sure, sprinting to P2 versus walking to P2 is a similar speed, but you can't just ignore the thrust and the slide and call it a day, right? Like, those mechanics have a massive impact on speed of movement on these maps. So, and I'm not saying one's better, one's worse. I'm just saying I hate it when people state stuff like it's a fact when they're clearly misinformed. Now, I know that in classic Halo you can move and shoot at the same time, and I know we're going to get a lot of comments about that. So I'll talk about that a bit in the end of the video. First, let's break down what's going on in these clips. If you've watched my videos, you might recognize most or even all of what's going on in these sequences, but there is one very innovative thing that Heenee is doing here to hit this so cleanly, and it's his use of a technique called the short hop, which is a very low altitude jump that barely leaves the floor, right? You got a normal jump and then a short hop. Now, a short hop is performed by pressing jump and crouch together at the exact same time with 1 frame precision. So kind of like spring jumping, but kind of like a reverse spring jump. And this is what makes this clip so cool. Now, normally the short hop is not a very useful technique, and no pros that I'm aware of actually apply it in their gameplay. You can use it to more efficiently navigate certain areas of a map, or maybe to more safely peak challenge over low height cover in a situation where a regular jump would make you very vulnerable. You can peak challenge. But the beauty of the short hop in these sequences is it's allowing him to hit jumps that are normally completely impossible without it. For example, if I sprint and try to do what he did in this sequence here with a regular jump, you notice how I bump my head on the roof, right? I sprint, jump, try to line up the thrust so that I can slide and launch out. I'm hitting my face on this roof above, and I'm hitting it because I'm doing a regular jump. The regular jump is too high, and it's ruining my ability to line up this area conveniently. But with a short hop, he can actually line up this jump, and he can actually launch across the map. The same thing applies right here. If I do a sprint and a standard jump, I bump into the bridge here, right? I can't line up the technique, but a short hop allows him to perfectly line it up and launch across the map. Now, the weird thing about this short hop is it kind of defies the rules of Halo 5's movement, because when sprinting to short hop, I'm inputting crouch and jumping at the same time. So I'm actually slide jumping, right? Notice how when I short hop at a sprint, I'm doing like a weird little mini slide jump. And anyone well accustomed to Halo 5's movement knows that if you slide jump out of sprint, you can't sprint again in midair. You can only start sprinting after you hit the floor because slide jumping cancels your sprint, as opposed to sprinting, jumping, and holding forward. I'm maintaining the animation the entire time if I just do a regular jump. And you need to be in this animation to do the super slide technique, which is a very important part of this sequence, right? You sprint, you keep sprint maintained, thrust, resprint, slide, and jump on the bottom of a ramp. I'm not going to go too in detail with this one. I have a long video on it. It's linked in the description, but you need to have this animation out. And this is why short hopping out of sprint is so weird, because if you short hop, it's going to cancel your sprint like it should. But for some reason, if you press sprint again in the air, you can start sprinting. You can reactivate sprint in midair, just like that. So I can short hop and then resprint. And now I'm basically sliding twice, right? Once in the short hop, and then again once I hit the floor. And it allows these movement sequences to suddenly become possible. And while this stuff might be possible, it's insanely technical to actually pull it off. What we're going to do is play both of these clips back to back. Shout out to my editor Lights. He's going to put the inputs on screen in real time as the clips play. And as a fun challenge, I'm going to attempt to call out every technique in real time as the clip plays as well, which won't be easy, but just so you can get a sense of how ridiculous this stuff actually is. Sprint, jump, short hop, sprint, thrust, slide, jump, sprint, jump, short hop, sprint, thrust, sprint, slide, jump, spring jump, crouch, sprint, short hop, sprint, thrust, sprint, slide, jump, crouch, stabilize, spring jump, crouch, stabilize, clamber. Short hop, sprint, thrust, sprint, slide, jump, jump, sprint, slide, jump, crouch, stabilize, clamber, sprint, short hop, sprint, thrust, mash, crouch, stabilize, clamber, sprint, jump, short hop, sprint, thrust, sprint, slide, jump, sprint, slide, jump, crouch, stabilize, clamber, sprint, jump, and then short hop, sprint, thrust, sprint, slide, sprint, jump, and then one more time, short hop, sprint, thrust, sprint, slide, jump to bottom mid. Crazy stuff. Okay, now play it back one more time, and every time I say sprint, take a shot. Just kidding, don't do that. You will most likely die. Anyway, it's just wild to see the level of depth and what seems like untapped potential still in Halo 5's movement. I don't know any pros who use short hopping to navigate maps like this, and maybe they never will. It's very difficult to do and not really necessary, but it just makes me think that few video games, let alone Halo games, few games ever have allowed for this level of technical skill. If you're a Smash fan, once again, this reminds me of Melee, and it reminds me of Melee task videos. Like, imagine if you could script a frame-perfect sequence in Halo 5 where you hit all the craziest tech, but then five everyone as you fly by. Like, you could put together insane, inhuman feats in tasks in H5. Also, now that we've seen this stuff, I think it's pretty apparent that the speed you're capable of in Halo 5 is clearly faster than any other Halo before it. It's not even a contest. So the typical counter-argument after that is that, okay, in classic Halo, while moving at top speed, you can also shoot. You can spin around. You can throw nades. You can do whatever you like at top speed, which, okay, let's talk about that. First of all, if you want to move at this speed and shoot, you can't shoot the whole time. That is correct. So only when I see my reticle on screen can I shoot. So right here, I can shoot throughout this whole sequence. I'm going to start sprinting, clamber up, and then jump thrust. I can shoot here if I want to. Jump, and then once again, I'm going to land and launch, and throughout this whole sequence, I can shoot here if I want to also. And, of course, if during that sequence I'm sprinting, and at any point during the sprint I decide I want to shoot, I can just shoot, right? I can just cancel the sprint with a gunshot. You can shoot anytime at a sprint instantly. It's not like you gotta wait to shoot at a sprint. It's literally instant out of sprint. If I do decide to shoot during that high speed sequence, let's say I'm sprinting and I jump through the air and I shoot, then I sacrifice my ability to slide. I cancel my sprint. Now I can't slide launch anymore. But why is that an issue though, right? Because if I'm moving at these insanely high speeds, isn't that an advantage state? Shouldn't there be a risk associated with moving that fast? It would be ridiculous if I could just launch around the map like freely and shoot all the time whenever I want. It would be broken. Everybody would do it all the time. There needs to be challenge and risk associated with the clear advantage of moving at a high speed and shooting. Really, you just have to understand the risk associated with the high-speed move that you choose and know when and where to use it. So you have full flexibility when you figure that out. You can sprint, slide jump out right, slide jump out left, shoot the entire time whenever you like, shoot backwards, spin around 360, right? You can slide jump, jump when you hit the floor, spring jump when you hit the floor, and maintain that high momentum while shooting at the same time. And thrust slide, spin around, shoot out of a thrust slide. Like, you have that flexibility for a split-second window, like when I thrust slide, that's when I can shoot, right? So understand when to time the thrust slide so you explode around the corner with your gun ready rather than just using it brainlessly, like anything. And fun fact, Halo 5 has the fastest base movement speed in any Halo game. So I'm already moving faster than top speed in classic Halo and doing all the same stuff. right? It's the foundation of every game to move at this speed and shoot freely. It's there. It's always been there. Anyway, I'm gonna stop ranting. I wanted to keep this video at 10 minutes, so that's it for today. Hopefully you found this video informative. I just wanted to show off some wild Halo tech. Halo Infinite is about to be showcased again. It's gonna have advanced mobility. I'm just tired of the hate, bandwagoning, the assumptions that it's just gonna be bad without taking a second to learn that there is actually some value, unique value there. And hopefully this content is helping people realize that. Anyway, that's it for me. If you guys like these videos, you want to see more, make sure to subscribe, check out related videos. I'll see you guys in the next one.